Live from KSAT 12, the news at noon starts right now.
The family of Officer Benjamin Marconi escorted into court this morning. This as the trial of Otis McCain begins.
Opening statements started this morning.
And the courtroom was full for the trial, including Erica Hernandez, who is covering the proceedings for us. She joins us live from the Kadena Reeves Justice Center.
So, Erica, can you describe what the mood was like in that courtroom this morning when that trial began?
Yeah, that mood was somber and tense as this trial began. It's a trial we've been waiting years for. Now, this trial started around 9:30 this morning in the 379th District Court. Prosecutor Tamara Strauch began with opening statements. She gave the jury a timeline of what evidence would be presented to them in the coming days. Strauch said several witnesses would take the stand who witnessed the crime, as well as testimony of McCain admitting to the crime.
It felt good to shoot him. Those words came out of this defendant's mouth. 31-year-old Otis McCain.
Your Honor, I'm going to object to counsel.
Another media reporter says, "Why was it his fault that you wouldn't see your son?" And the defendant's response was, "I've been through several custody battles and I was upset at the situation and I lashed out at somebody who didn't deserve it. I'm sorry."
Now, opening statements by the state lasted over an hour. The defense decided to hold off on their opening statements. The first witness to take the stand is Eric Jimenez, who works for the Fusion Center at SAPD headquarters. He was called to pull up videos from public safety headquarters from that day. The first couple of clips that he showed is what appears to be Otis McCain entering and exiting SAPD headquarters that morning. As far as videos, there are other videos that are going to be shown of the actual shooting, one from inside Marconi's unit. And because we are live streaming this case, we will not be showing those videos. David, Ursula?
Erica, during the opening statements, the prosecution pointed out that where Detective Marconi was shot twice in the head, that might have seemed quite graphic. What was the reaction in the courtroom, especially from the Marconi family who had to watch that?
Yeah, the Marconi family was visibly shaken up from those comments. Several members were seen crying. There's a lot of emotion in this courtroom right now, especially from the family.
And Erica, you mentioned that the defense did not give an opening statement after the prosecution gave theirs, and so that trial went right to witnesses. There seemed to be a little shock in the courtroom for some on their reaction to not having an opening statement. What was a lot of the reaction in there, and why did they not give one today?
It's not really uncommon for the defense to waive their opening statements. A lot of it is to show that they don't want to show what their mindset, what their case is going to look like. So waiving statements is not uncommon. It is seen, so we expect to see later on what the defense's theory is when it comes to the McCain case.
That will have to wait. We shall see. We're going to continue to cover this, and we'll talk with you again in just a few minutes.
Thank you, Erica.
Police continue to search for two suspects who stole a car at gunpoint this morning at an apartment complex on the city's west side.
Sarah Costa takes us to the scene at the 2500 block of Westward Drive near West Military and U.S. Highway 90 with what police are saying about this investigation.
Police are processing the scene and interviewing witnesses after 3 shots were fired during an aggravated assault this morning. Police say they were called out to the Westwood Plaza apartments in the 2500 block of Westward Drive around 7:30 this morning. The sergeant on scene told us 2 men went up to another man at the complex parking lot, threatening him with the gun and stole his Dodge Avenger. While the suspects were driving off, they fired their gun 3 times. No one was hit or injured. 2 of those shots hit surrounding vehicles in the parking lot. Police spotted the suspects in the stolen vehicle not too far from the complex at Loop 410 in Bandera. They had their Eagle chopper up, but the suspects sped off, and police say they lost sight of the vehicle. Police say they continue to search for those suspects this morning. Keep it here on air and online for the latest on this investigation. From the west side, I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
This noon, police are still trying to determine who shot a man and why. All of this taking place on the west side early this morning. According to police, the victim told him someone shot him in the leg while he was walking in the 2000 block of South San Jacinto Street. just west of I-10. The victim did not give police any other information. He was taken to the hospital, but should be okay.
The Bexar County Sheriff's Office making a big push to recruit new officers. This coming as the numbers come out for the crime numbers as well as the emergency call numbers. Max Massey spoke with the sheriff and breaks down all of them.
Your career is a key important thing in life.
Meet Santiago. He is one of the newer members here at the sheriff's office, and now there is a big effort to bring in more and more deputies.
We're trying to hire, just like every other law enforcement agency in the country right now, manpower is an issue.
There's a career fair this coming Saturday, and as an incentive, there is a $2,000 signing bonus for detention deputies.
We're still being a bit selective on who gets into the sheriff's office, understandably so.
BCSO is looking to fill hundreds and hundreds of positions, but the sheriff tells me it's not an easy process. It's going to be challenging, and they're looking for more and more accountability.
When we hit a stumbling block as an agency, we plow through it and we handle it transparently with the public.
This big recruitment push comes in the midst of an uptick in local crimes.
We are seeing a slight uptick in violent crime. We're seeing a lot more guns on the street. And so we just ask people to continue to call in activity and let us handle it as needed.
Calls to BCSO are up more than 4%. The sheriff says two of the big problems they're trying to address: domestic violence and child abuse. Another number that jumps out is the number of mental health calls, 318 this year, to their new SMART team.
That pairs up a paramedic, a mental health worker, and a mental health deputy, and the three of them will handle calls in the most appropriate way.
If you're interested in seeing the numbers or learning about recruitment, we have all that information right now. Just head to KSAT.com. Max Massey, KSAT 12 News.
The city of Laredo holding an emergency city council meeting because the city has been under a boil water notice for a week and a half now. Laredo residents are urged to drink or prepare their food with cooled boiled water or bottled water. To learn more about what a boil water notice entails, you can go to KSAT.com or the City of Laredo website.
We want to bring you the latest on the coronavirus pandemic. The U.S. now seeing a rise in cases with that Delta variant spreading rapidly, mostly among unvaccinated people.
And drug companies are working to determine whether booster shots may be necessary. ABC's Rena Roy reports today Pfizer is discussing a potential third dose with the FDA.
With the Delta variant spreading coast to coast, 25 states are now seeing an increase in new cases, 17 seeing a jump in hospital admissions, and in 6 of those, deaths also on the rise.
I am concerned. The Delta variant, it is more contagious, and so any area where there's a lower rate of vaccination, you're going to see spread.
This as daily vaccinations plummet, down 85% from the April peak.
I really believe we are at a point where we can say pretty confidently that you're either going to be vaccinated or you're going to have COVID.
Experts say the vaccines work well against the current variants, but still drug companies are preparing for the future. Pfizer meeting with the FDA Monday to discuss potential emergency use authorization for a third dose. Pfizer suggesting booster shots will offer optimal protection within 12 months after a second dose.
The CDC and the FDA correctly said right now we don't feel you need a booster. That doesn't mean that we're not very, very actively following and gathering all of this information to see if and when we might need it.
Arkansas's governor trying to convince those who are hesitant to trust the shot.
Republicans, Democrats, we all suffer the same consequence if the Delta variant gets us and we're not vaccinated.
This week, the CDC director saying 99.5% of Americans killed by COVID recently were unvaccinated. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
We'll watch for a few showers today and tomorrow. We're also tracking the dust. Latest coming up.
What do they say? Now we have a series. The Bucks able to get back into the NBA Finals after a big night from their big man.
HEB looking to hire some folks. If you're on the hunt for a job, we're going to tell you how you can apply today after the break. The first payments in the Biden administration's enhanced child tax credits due to start rolling out this week. The program works like this. Heads of households will receive up to $3,600 for each child up to 6 years old, and then $3,000 for each 6 to 17-year-old child. Half of that credit can be claimed when you're filing your income taxes for the year, but the other half will be paid in monthly installments from now through the end of the year. Those payments can be up to $300 a month for children under 6 and $250 a month for kids up to 17. The amount of the credit goes down for people earning more than $112,000 and households making more than $150,000.
HEB looking to fill more than 100 full-time job positions, and that's why they are hosting a virtual hiring event today. The positions available offer production roles at local manufacturing facilities. The event is happening right now and ends tonight at 5 o'clock. If you are unable to attend, don't worry. You can still apply on HEB's careers website. After you apply, you will get an email with a link to submit an on-demand video interview. We've got a link to sign up for the event right now on KSAT.com.
We're looking outside with live cam. Quite a different picture from what we had last week. The sun is out, but is that dust I'm seeing?
A little dusty out there. The Saharan dust is back. We see it every year, but it's coming on the heels of all that rain that we've been dealing with. We just got rid of the mold allergies. Now we got to deal with the dust. It is there. The aquifer is up today, 0.3 of a foot to 670.5. Great number. We're in great shape there. And in your pollen count, I mentioned molds are low. But yes, the dust is out there today. We'll talk about that and some more slight rain chances coming up.
Winter storm, summer rain, dust. What are we missing? What do we have not had?
Have we had the crickets yet?
Let's not ask these questions.
We didn't have the crickets, but we had the cicadas because those come out every year. So yeah,
boy, and they are loud these days.
Who knows?
Is it because of the rain?
Probably, yeah. You got the frogs and the cicadas going. It's like a symphony at night. Yes, it is loud. The rain is, for the most part, ended, but now we are dealing with the Saharan dust. Yes, we do see it every year. This isn't just a huge plume, but it is there. It may cause some issues for those who have allergies. And there's a look at the forecast. So that obviously the darker the color, the heavier the dust. And yeah, we are seeing a pretty good plume come through today. Skies are a little hazy. This is around 6 o'clock this evening. And as we get into tomorrow, we should see things get a little bit better. And then by tomorrow afternoon and Wednesday, I think we're in pretty good shape. It'll be just very, very light. As we do get into Friday, it does look like we'll get another little plume trying to come in there. So we'll keep an eye on that. There is some dust around today. We were just talking about the rainy weather too, and what a difference it has made in temperatures. So these are the temperatures that we've seen last few days, 79, 85, 89. These are the high temperatures. They were forecasting a high of 90 today, tomorrow. Look what it was like back in 2020, just 1 year ago, 99 on the 9th, but we went as high as 107 on the 13th. Very different last year. We had high pressure over us. It was hot, it was dry. Not the case this year. Very different, and we've been below average now. We're expecting another day below average. Highs right around 90. The heat index will jump up there, though, because we'll have a lot of humidity. It'll feel like it's 96 outside when you factor that in. Most of Texas looking at below average temperatures. It's been an unusual start to summer. We'll see if it stays that way. Right now, partly cloudy skies, 84 degrees at the airport. Southeasterly winds at about 11 miles per hour. And that is keeping humidity in place. 87 in New Braunfels, 88 Pleasanton, 89 Devine, 82 Los Maples, and 82 up there in Kerrville. Temperatures 86 Del Rio, 84 Carrizo Springs, and closing in on 90 in Cotulla. Heat index values there could get up close to 100 today. Humidity, dew points in the mid-70s. I wish I could tell you this changes. It doesn't. We get high humidity all the way into the weekend, so expect these dew points right at about those levels going through the week. Satellite picture shows, satellite and radar shows that we do have an area of showers and storms. Pretty good area here, stretching from just north of Austin, south of San Angelo, and then west of us. It's just staying to our north. And all indications are that a lot of this will stay north of us today. There's not much southern movement to this, but some flooding going on now, some flash flood warnings now being issued. If you're heading up I-35, you'll run into some of these showers and storms. We'll watch the radar closely, but again, here, it's just partly cloudy. And looking at the computer models, yes, it keeps most of that to the north. Maybe an isolated shower or storm down to our south and east today. Can't rule it out, but I think the chances are pretty low. As we get into tomorrow, our rain chances come up just a little bit. Looks like we'll get some activity coming up from the south and east, so we'll put in a 20% chance tomorrow. Other than that, we're not going to see rain like what we've seen over the last week. It's going to be very spotty stuff during the afternoon. 90 degrees today, 10% chance of a shower. Your chances do go up if you're in the hill country just a little bit. 20% chance tomorrow, 90 on your Tuesday, 91 Wednesday, 92 Thursday. Again, some stray showers mixed in there. And then it dries out hot, humid as we head into the weekend. We'll be right back.
And the NBA Finals go to Milwaukee, so you had to figure that would be the boost the Bucks needed after going down 0-2 to the Suns. Game 3 last night, and it was a big difference being at home. First quarter, Giannis Antetokounmpo, the rebound, and where's the rebound? There he goes. Watch him get the Oh, just shove the guy out of the way. No problem. That's a three-point play. Later on, Giannis with the move and the slam. The Suns stay in it, though. Jay Crowder with the three all alone. I want to cover that guy. 28-25 after one. Second quarter, the Suns' DeAndre Ayton is hot. He had 16 points by halftime, but then he went silent because the Bucks bite back. The Greek Freak fed open. Check out the two-handed slam next time down the floor. Another three-point play after the foul. Then another tough shot down low in traffic. But here comes the play of the game. Drew Holiday gets the block on Devin Booker. Then Holiday with the behind-the-back pass to Chris Middleton. Back to Holiday. Nice. Milwaukee ends the quarter on a 10-0 run, 15-point lead, largest of the finals. Bucks are up 60-45. We go to the third quarter. It's going to be good for one guy, not good for the other. P.J. Tucker gets dunked on by Cam Johnson. That would end up as a three-point play for Phoenix, but Johnson wasn't done. Nails the three to cut the lead down to 4. Milwaukee picks up again. Holiday with the three of his own. He had 12 in the third. The Greek Freak continues to take advantage of the smaller matchups. The basket foul. Bucks in the third on a 16-0 run. They lead 98-76. Fourth quarter, the Bucks lead grows to 25. Giannis with the dunk that again going baseline. He finished with 41, 13 rebounds, back-to-back 40-point games for him. He was also 13-17 from three-point line. Here is your final NBA. Game 3 goes to the Bucks, 120-100. The series is now a little tighter. Suns still lead it, though, 2-1. After the game, Giannis talked numerous times about how much fun he's having on the court.
I don't worry about the outcome as much as I just want to enjoy the game. I want my teammates to enjoy the game, and I know that by enjoying the game, I'm going to compete as hard as possible, and I'm going to do the right thing to help my team be in the right position and have the opportunity to win any game we play.
He's a great playmaker. He's a great passer. He's a great screener. He does so many things, and I think when he's conscious of doing a little bit of everything, he's very capable, and that's when he's at his best.
All right, so they're staying in Milwaukee for Game 4. See if the Bucks can tie up the series. And Game 5 is back in Phoenix on Saturday. Game 6 and 7 if they need them Tuesday and Thursday next week in Milwaukee. And then they'll wrap it up in Phoenix if they need a Game 7. A lot of big-time soccer in the Alamo Dome. 2 matches between 4 teams from Liga MX this weekend. On Saturday, Club America took on Tigres, and America won 1-0 thanks to that beautiful strike from Salvador Reyes in the 77th minute to play. 27,000 on hand for the match. Then in the afternoon, she was facing Rayados. 56th minute, cross into the box, deflects back out to Sergio Villarreal, who drills a shot into the back of the net. Here it comes. Boom. That's pretty sweet. Monterrey takes it 1-0. The United States opening up Gold Cup play last night in Kansas City. First match in Group B against Haiti. Doesn't take long for the Americans to get on the board. 8th minute of play, cross into the box, takes a couple of weird bounces. And Sam Vines is right there for the header. Opening goal is all the U.S. needed. They win at 1-0. Plenty of drama across the pond, though. Euro Cup final. England taking on Italy. Both teams tied at 1. Overtime, so we headed to penalty kicks. It's Italy with a chance to win it, but right there, Jordan Pickford gets some help from the post for the save, keeping England alive, and so an attempt to tie it. 2 saves in PKs for the goalie there. Italy stuns the host to win the EuroLeague title. Like that.
Coming up in the next half hour, more coverage from the Otis McCain trial. We're going to be joined live by Eric Hernandez to discuss the latest developments.
And new today at 5, we are shedding some light on dark patterns. If you're online much, you've seen them. They are manipulative practices that can trip you up, such as confusing language when it comes to opting out of emails, or maybe those X's that are so tiny you don't really see where to X out of a pop-up. 12 on your side's Marilyn Moritz on what to watch out for and why there's now a dark patterns tip line. And welcome now. Right now, you are looking at the trial of Otis McCain. He's accused of killing San Antonio police detective Benjamin Marconi back in 2016. This is the first death penalty case in more than 5 years in Bexar County. You're actually watching some surveillance video that they are showing inside that courtroom during this trial. And if you want to follow this trial online, all you can do is go to KSAT.com.
But in the meantime, we can bring in Erica Hernandez. She is live downtown. She's been covering the trial all morning long inside the courtroom where that surveillance footage is being replayed.
Erica, we've been talking this morning about some different things that we've noticed in this trial. And one of the things that we noticed was the fact that the prosecutor, when she was giving her opening statement, she referred to all the witnesses that she's going to call a lot by their first name, as if she's trying to humanize them. And I remember she kept calling one of the witnesses Ricky throughout the whole thing, as if the jury, here's a guy that's just like you, no different, but he's stunned at what he saw.
Yeah, I think we were really surprised to know just how many witnesses actually witnessed this crime taking place. It's something that we really didn't know how many people saw this when it occurred that morning on November 20th. And I think she is trying to humanize this case. I think she wants the jury to really understand that it affected a lot of people that day, including the Marconi family, SAPD, and those who witnessed it.
And Erica, the prosecutor also is really dramatically pointing out how many hours, how many minutes Benjamin Marconi had left in his life while watching this surveillance video and the comings and goings of people right there who knew what was about to happen and that his life was about to end.
Yeah, it was a step-by-step timeline of that day from the time that McCain apparently got to SAPD headquarters that morning around 7:40-ish, and you saw the video being shown of him entering and exiting SAPD headquarters, till just recently when video was just shown of the actual shooting taking place from one of those security cameras at PD headquarters, and him driving through what appears to be him driving through barriers. It's all part of this case, and it's something that I think they really do want to make sure that everybody knows, especially the jurors, that they are saying McCain is the one who committed this crime.
And, you know, Erica, I also thought it was very interesting that the opening statement from the prosecutor in her opening statement was objected to by the defense attorney, and it wasn't because of what she said, it was actually because of what she did.
Yeah, and it was one of the only objections we've seen so far this morning when she pointed at McCain. I think they felt that she was being a little too close to him and that they wanted her to kind of, I think they just wanted to interrupt her as well and maybe help, throw her off her game a little bit when she was giving those opening statements. It was a surprise by many as it came right away when it started, but she continued. That opening statement lasted for about a little over an hour this morning.
And finally, Erica, as we pointed out in our first half hour, the defense decided not to give an opening statement, but they have the right to do so later, correct?
That is correct. It's not uncommon to see defense to do this and not start with their opening statement. It's all to probably not give away what their case is for Otis McCain at this time, but I do expect to see one later when they do start their case.
All right, Erica, thank you very much for your time, and thank you very much for updating us on this trial. And we'll let you get back in the courtroom, and we'll have more from you on there and online, of course, all afternoon, and a complete wrap-up this afternoon on KSAT 12 News at 5 and 6. Thanks, Erica.
The top U.S. commander in Afghanistan stepping down from his post as America's longest war winds down. The U.S. set to end its military mission in the country by August 31st, just before the 20th anniversary of the September 11th attacks that precipitated this war. As ABC's Faith Abube reports, the country's stability and security are still in question as U.S. troops move out.
A rapid succession of gunfire bursting towards Taliban fighters. Tense moments unfolding in northern Afghanistan between the militant group and heavily armed Afghan forces and civilians Sunday. Local officials saying 55 Taliban fighters killed, 90 wounded. The Taliban, however, claims it's gaining ground and is now in control of 85% of Afghanistan as U.S. forces withdraw from the two-decade-old war. Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby on Fox News.
We're certainly watching with deep concern, Chris, the deteriorating security situation and the violence.
Monday, U.S. General Austin Miller, who has led the military mission in Afghanistan, turning over his command to General Frank McKenzie. He'll oversee operations from U.S. Central Command headquarters in Tampa. The ceremony seen as a symbolic end to the U.S. involvement in America's longest conflict.
I judge that it was not in the national interest of the United States of America to continue fighting this war indefinitely.
But the president has been criticized for the August 31st withdrawal timeline. Some say it's too fast and could create a vacuum for a resurgence of terrorism emanating from Afghanistan.
The status quo was not an option. How many thousands more Americans' daughters and sons were you willing to risk?
And the U.S. plans to leave about 650 troops behind in Afghanistan to guard the U.S. Embassy. In Washington, Faith Abube, ABC News.
Cubans are coming together in protest. Thousands of residents marched through these streets on the island Sunday as the country sees food shortages and high prices. The country is in the midst of worsening economic crisis. Cuba also dealing with the resurgence of COVID cases and medicine shortage. Cuba's leader blamed tight U.S. sanctions and called on those loyal to the regime to confront the protesters. The U.S. National Security Advisor tweeted in part that the U.S. would strongly condemn any violence targeting peaceful protesters. The Cuban exile community in Miami also hit the streets to protest in the things going on in Cuba.
Today, President Joe Biden hosting city leaders from all around the country to talk about the recent rise in crime in cities everywhere. The Brooklyn Bureau president, who is a frontrunner in the race for the mayor of New York City, among those at today's meeting, also set to attend the mayors of Washington, D.C. and San Jose, California. Shootings and killings are on the rise around the nation. Local politicians and police struggling to manage all that violence that has ballooned ever since the coronavirus lockdowns.
Crews are still searching for victims after that condo collapse in Florida, and they're hoping to finish in the coming weeks. Yesterday, Mayor Daniel Levine Cava said that at least 90 people died, 71 identified, and their next of kin have been notified. Some 31 remain missing. Miami-Dade County Sheriff Alan Kaminsky says the department doesn't know exactly when recovery operations will be completed.
Wildfire season raging on in the western part of the country. In California, crews are struggling to contain the largest wildfire to break out in the state this year. As that fire continues to grow, residents are being asked to conserve energy because a wildfire in Oregon has disrupted the flow of electricity from its 3 major transmission lines. A large part of the West also hit by high heat this weekend, some seeing triple-digit temperatures, and they're expected to continue today. Managers of California's power grid continue to ask customers to conserve as much electricity as possible today so they can avoid having outages.
Well, one thing we don't have to worry about right now is dry weather because we're so wet because of all the rain, but we do have to worry about heat. Look at that, it's already 86. Well, last week we were in the 70s.
We were trying to push into 80 last week.
We were a little spoiled. I got to be honest with you. These numbers are still below average, okay, but it is so humid that heat index is going to be up into the 90s today. And we'll see temperatures slowly climb this week back to near average temperatures. Let's look at the radar real quick, though, because I want to show you that we do have some showers and storms at this time off to our north. None of our viewing area really impacted at this hour. You got to go up to Austin and northwest of Austin before you run into some of this heavier rain. This is likely going to cause some flooding. So those headed up along I-35 will run into some heavier rain up there around Temple, Killeen, Waco. But nothing here, and I don't think we're going to see much today. This line of showers and storms just doesn't have much push. A little closer look there, you can see some of the heavier storms, and they're trying to build south just ever so slightly. May get closer to Austin here this afternoon. And in the hill country, we did see a couple showers this morning, but nothing really right now other than one little storm there in northern Valverde County. Here in San Antonio, just partly cloudy skies. We're going to keep the forecast fairly dry today, with showers to the north. There is some of that dust working through. We've been talking about it last couple days. That Saharan dust stays with us today, and somewhat tomorrow. Isolated showers and storms on your Tuesday, and then by Wednesday and Thursday, just a stray shower, but the forecast becomes much drier. 84 degrees at the airport, 87 Stinson. We're at 88 down there in Pleasanton, and the forecast today does take us up to 90 degrees. Just a 10% chance of rain there across the board. Guys.
Thank you, Justin. It was Marvel's first big screen movie in 2 years, and fans helped it set a post-pandemic debut record. A look at the weekend box office numbers coming up in the spotlight.
Wells Fargo getting slammed on Twitter after it decided to restructure how that decision could affect customers' credit scores. After the break.
Hello, everyone. This is your daily tech and business briefing from Cheddar News. Senator Elizabeth Warren slamming Wells Fargo on Twitter. That following the bank's announcement that they're shutting down all personal lines of credit for customers. Wells Fargo said the move might affect customers' credit scores, which led to Warren taking to Twitter to say that customers shouldn't, quote, see their credit scores suffer because the bank is restructuring after years of scams and incompetence. Meanwhile, Goldman Sachs considering raising their salaries for their junior investment bankers. According to the Financial Times, the investment bank concerned internally about potentially losing young talent to other big banks in the industry. Goldman Sachs is seeing a rise in burnout complaints from their staff due to long hours they've endured during the pandemic. And shares of Biogen saw a bio drop on Friday. That following the FDA's call for an investigation into the company's Alzheimer's drug. The stock saw more than a 3% drop following the FDA's announcement after surging just a month ago after the FDA had approved Biogen's Alzheimer's drug, Aduhelm. And that's your Cheddar News Business and Tech Update. I'm Baker Machado coming to you from Cheddar Studios in Lower Manhattan.
General Motors recalling more than 400,000 trucks over an airbag issue.
The problem lies in the inflator components that can fail and cause an airbag to suddenly deploy for no reason. Impacted vehicles include 1,500, 2,500, and 3,500 series pickup trucks manufactured between 2015 and 2016. Not all the trucks produced during that time are part of the recall, though.
So far, all three reported unintended airbag deployments happening when no one's inside the vehicles. GMC and Chevrolet plan to notify their owners of the recalled vehicles next month to visit their local dealerships to get a free fix.
Back outside with live cam, there's some clouds out there, and they were like holding down the temperatures last week, but not now. What happened?
No, they've cleared out.
Here?
Sun is out. We're in mid-July, guys. We would expect temperatures to get up around 94 degrees. We're at 84 right now. We'll actually stay below average today, although it's quite a bit warmer than what we've been used to here in July, so there's a little bit of a shock to the system. 78 was the low this morning. Records are 103 and 65 set back in 1933 and 1905. Couple of showers out there today. We're going to watch for a few more showers tomorrow, too. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
So, July, almost at mid-July, 86 degrees. It's
Can't
almost
complain.
1 o'clock in the afternoon. This is bizarre.
Yeah.
It's really pretty nice. We've been kind of spoiled as of late, and look, it is going to get warmer. We know that. But there are still no triple digits in the 7-day forecast, so there's that. And our friends out west have really been baking. It's like we just took that heat high that's usually over us and shifted it out west, and the results have not been good. Folks out there, well, they're suffering. 128, that's the high temperature yesterday in Death Valley. They got up to 130 over the weekend, and not only that, they've had gusty winds, there's fire threats, they've got drought. It's just a bad situation out there. They're going to see temperatures again today rising into the triple digits. There are heat advisories and extreme heat warnings. Las Vegas projected to be around 115 today. Death Valley probably up around 120. Phoenix 107. So yes, more heat for those folks, unfortunately. And yes, it is hot here, but nothing like that. 84 degrees at the airport right now, 87 Stinson, 85 Kelly, 84 Randolph. And we've got a good southeasterly breeze, anywhere from 10 to 15 miles per hour. Satellite picture shows we've got a couple high clouds coming through, otherwise just some puffy cumulus clouds. Nothing that's growing into any showers or storms. You got to go north of here to find any rain. 82 Bernie Stage, 87 in New Braunfels, 84 for our friends in Seguin, 86 Gonzales, 89 Victoria, and 88 right now in Uvalde with quite a bit of sun there. Dew points, they stay high. I mean, this is consistent, right? 70s all the way through the week. So we're going to be carrying a heat index each and every afternoon. And in fact, by the weekend, I think the heat index will close in on 100. Today, it'll feel more like it's in the mid-90s, 94 the forecast heat index today, 99 in Pleasanton. And we may see a few triple digits for that feels like temperature down to our south. Here's the satellite and radar, and you'll notice it's fairly active, but it's just all around us more or less. Got a few showers in Houston, and then a nice line of showers and storms north of Austin along I-35, and then stretching back into the hill country and just south of San Angelo. These storms aren't moving much. I would imagine we're going to get some more flood warnings along this line next couple of hours. Also a complex of showers and storms out in the Big Bend region. A little closer look at some of these storms. Staying north of Fredericksburg, on the Mason area, and there's some pretty heavy rain just to the east of San Angelo. These may try to drift south, but I don't think they're going to move enough to impact our area. Could see a few storms in the hill country for sure. A little closer look at that activity north of Sonora and Junction, and that's almost moving north at this point, not south. Here in San Antonio, again, just partly cloudy skies. Here's what our forecast looks like. It does show a couple of isolated showers and storms today. And then as we get into tomorrow, I think our chances may be a little bit better. We get a little bit more coverage still. We're talking about a 20% shot here. Some quick moving showers and storms. Nothing like what we saw last week. Forecast for the rest of today, temperatures up around 90 for a high, partly cloudy. Just a 10% chance of rain here in town. And then as we get into tomorrow, 20% chance of rain, as I mentioned. Don't forget, we'll have some of those hazy conditions as Saharan dust sticks around today and tomorrow. And then partly cloudy going into the weekend. It looks like things really do dry out. More typical July weather with that heat index near 100 by Saturday and Sunday, guys.
Thank you, Justin. Black Widow hit theaters this weekend, Marvel's first big screen movie in 2 years. Fans were ready for it. What films rounded out the top 5 after the break?
A new box office champ emerged this weekend with the release of Marvel's latest film. Black Widow set a new post-pandemic record for the biggest debut weekend, dominating the weekend with $80 million. After 2 weekends on top, F9, the Fast Saga, dropped to second, earning $10.9 million for a domestic total of $141 million. The Boss Baby Family Business took third place on ticket sales of $8.7 million, and The Forever Purge fell to fourth with $6.7 million. A Quiet Place Part 2 made $3 million for fifth place and a domestic total of $150 million.
A new documentary taking on an unlikely subject. It's a whale that's lived a lonely life.
Scientists say the whale emits a frequency that no other whale can understand.
As ABC's George Panaccio explains, the creators behind the movie were actually able to find the whale off the coast of California.
A top-secret program of the U.S. Navy discovered a mysterious sound in the Pacific at a frequency of 52 hertz. A solitary whale, broadcasting at a frequency that no other whale could understand.
The Loneliest Whale, The Search for 52, takes us on an adventure to find a creature scientists believe has lived its life in solitude because the frequency of its voice can't be heard by any other whales.
There's one point in the film where we come upon this huge pod of whales, and you know, you always remember the first time seeing a whale. But how about the first time you see 100 whales? You know, it was just a mind-blowing. Everywhere you look, spouts, psh, 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 all across the horizon.
We should be going after all great mysteries like this.
This documentary got made thanks to crowdfunding. It really did take a village.
You also have 14 executive producers on this film, including Leonardo DiCaprio.
A lot of people came together. Thank God for Adrian Grenier, the actor who helped us kind of get together as executive producer on the film. We went out with Kickstarter. DiCaprio suddenly gives us $50,000 and suddenly headlines all across the world, mind you. DiCaprio saves Lonely Whale.
I was going through some of our recordings and we found it.
So it's still alive?
Yep, it's out there.
One whale, but it's a big ocean.
Then we get a call from the scientist, John Hildebrand, out in San Diego, and he's like, we found the whale, and it's in L.A. It's like waiting for its close-up. I couldn't believe it. It was just so ridiculous.
In the end, do they really find the whale? Zeman says you need to watch to find out.
It's maybe not the ending you might think, but it's really heartwarming and beautiful.
The Loneliest Whale, The Search for 52 is in theaters now and on digital July 16th. In Los Angeles, George Pinocchio for ABC News.
Going to keep us in suspense.
Yeah, keeping us on the hook there.
Ooh, I like that. Very good.
SA Live is keeping us on the hook, too. We are going to watch this. I have a feeling there's going to be some food.
Oh, yeah. Really
You
good
think?
food, too.
Yes, all right, it's lunchtime, and of course, what are you hungry for? Head chef Bill Corbett from the Hayden is here with some of their signature sandwiches, and the thing is these are after famous big stars, right? Big stars.
Some big stars.
Okay, some big stars.
Circles.
All right.
So the Larry David,
yes, sir,
the actor, writer, and this goes with what was going on in the show one time.
Yeah, so we were big fans of the show, and one of the episodes, he actually has a sandwich that's named after him.
Which is not good, though.
Right, because he
perceives
like
it to not be as good.
Okay.
Everybody else enjoys it. Hopefully you'll enjoy it.
And we are going to be making that and tell you what the ingredients are in the Larry David sandwich, too. They also have some really great cocktails over there, too.
And speaking of those cocktails, they need some crushed ice. So Mike has been waiting about 45 minutes to tell you all about this trick.
This is called a Lewis bag, literally, and it's from old-time bar somewhere, and it's the old-fashioned way. We now have crushed ice.
So it's like you used to do it.
Yeah, okay. Hey, it worked. I had fun.
Okay, well, the classic cinnamon roll has evolved. We're going to tell you where you can mix and match flavors to create the cinnamon roll of your dreams.
I'm going to keep crushing the ice.